Hello, and welcome to the New Yorkers for Parks webinar series, an opportunity for the NY4P outreach staff to share tools, resources, and research to our constituents on your own time. My name is Emily Walker, and I am the Director of Outreach and Programs at New York, titled Who Represents Me? Demystifying the City Council. We'll provide an overview of the New York City Council and prepare New Yorkers for the upcoming citywide elections this fall. This webinar will last about 30 minutes, and I'm joined today by my colleague Laura Montross.
Hello, everyone. Thanks, Emily. My name is Laura Montross, and I serve as the Outreach Coordinator here at New Yorkers for Parks. For those of you who are new to New Yorkers for Parks, we are the citywide independent organization championing quality parks and open spaces for all New Yorkers in all neighborhoods. New Yorkers for Parks believes that great parks make a great city, and we have been spreading this message for over 100 years in all 5 boroughs. We are a research and advocacy organization that listens and works with communities, educates New Yorkers on public policy, analyzes data and writes reports, and advocates every day for better parks. We inform, lobby, and influence key decision makers into making the best decisions for our city's open space. Some of the most important decision makers when it comes to parks are your city council members. Before we unpack the city council, let's get a sense of who else represents you here in New York City.
So first off, we have the mayor, who is currently Bill de Blasio. The mayor is the head of the executive branch of the city and administers all city services, as well as oversees the $85 billion city budget. The mayor is limited to 2 consecutive 4-year terms. Having been elected in 2013, Bill de Blasio is up for re-election this fall. The mayor, it goes without saying, represents all 5 boroughs.
On the other hand, each borough has a singular representative known as the borough president. Borough presidents advise the mayor, advocate for key issues in their borough, appoint community boards, comment on the municipal budget, and while they are elected, they generally serve ceremonial positions. Each borough president does have a discretionary budget to fund projects within their borough and influence the Uniform Land Use Review Procedure, or ULURP. Therefore, if you are advocating for a particular park project in your community, it is absolutely beneficial to have the support of your borough president.
Next up, we have the public advocate, who is currently Letitia James. She is the first in line to succeed the mayor and serves as a direct liaison between New Yorkers and the city government, acting as the watchdog for the electorate. As with the mayor, the public advocate represents all 5 boroughs and is elected every 4 years and may serve 2 consecutive terms.
The comptroller is essentially the chief fiscal officer and chief auditing officer of New York City. Currently, the position is held by Scott Stringer. The comptroller can serve 3 consecutive 4-year terms and monitors the performances and finances of the city agencies, contracts, and city debt.
On a more local level, we have our community boards. Community boards are appointed advisory groups with 59 total boards spread across the 5 boroughs. Community boards are made of up to 50 volunteer members who are appointed by the borough president, half of whom are nominated by the city council members who represent the district. The community workers, they do advise the budget process and engage constituents on development of or opposition to specific projects. They serve no official authority to make or enforce laws, however.
Finally, and the group we will be looking at most closely today is the City Council. The City Council is the lawmaking body of New York City, with 51 members representing the 51 city council districts across the 5 boroughs. The City Council serves as a check to the mayor, monitoring city agencies, making land use decisions, approving the city budget proposed by the mayor, and proposing and passing laws. City have 4-year terms. It's worth noting that after a 4-year respite, City Council members can serve a 3rd term if they are elected.
The head of the City Council, known as the Speaker, is currently Melissa Mark Viverito. The Speaker of the City Council sets the agenda, and all proposed legislation ultimately passes through her office. The City Council is made up of 35 different committees. Each City Council member is obligated to sit on at least 3 of those committees. The Parks and Recreation Committee, for example, is chaired by City Council member Mark Levine from District 7, but he is also part of the committees on education, finance, governmental operations, housing and buildings, and rules, privileges, and elections. Our City Council members are very busy. This year, they are even busier than usual because it happens to be an election year.
Let's take a look at the City Council district map of New York City. Every decade following the census, the districts are redrawn to conform to demographic changes and with the one person, one vote constitutional requirement. There are a few different ways to find out who your city council member is. One of the best ways is to visit www.mygovnyc.org or simply Google Who Represents Me NYC. This easy-to-use website has you insert your address and pursuantly provides the names and contact information of your city, state, and federal elected officials. This is a great one-stop shop resource.
You can additionally take a look at the website of the New York City Council at www.council.nyc.gov. On the home page, there is the option to find your district or member, which will allow you to insert your address or search on a map of the City of New York to see who represents you. The search engine looks just like the slide before you, and it provides the district number, name, borough, party, and neighborhoods that each official represents. Now that we have identified how to determine your representative, we are going to discuss how and why to contact them, especially in an election year. For the sake of clarity, we are going to use the New Yorkers for Parks address in Lower Manhattan as a case study to find out our elected official.
Lower Manhattan is part of City Council District Number 1, currently represented by Council Member Margaret Chin. There are many ways to contact your City Council members and their offices to find out information about the work they are doing. On the City Council website for each member, you are provided with contact information for the district office and the legislative office. The district office is typically located within the actual district, whereas the legislative office of all 51 members is located at 250 Broadway in Manhattan. You will want to contact your district office with issues particular to your community, as the staff there can provide constituent services in the neighborhood. The legislative office, on the other hand, is for staff more focused on policy work. Most city council members also have personal, separate websites or blogs that can provide up-to-date information concerning news in your district. Some members offer a newsletter you can sign up for, and many are active on social media.
In an election year, it's a great opportunity to get to know your city council member and the other candidates running for the seats, as they are all looking for their constituents' support. If you would like to engage with incumbent or new candidates, you can write letters to their office, make phone calls, and even invite them to community events you might be hosting. It's not guaranteed, of course, that each member will have time on their schedule to meet every constituent who reaches out, but New Yorkers for Parks has a few tips to increase your chances of getting some face time with your city council member.
Unfortunately, it's unlikely that you can just pick up the phone and give Councilmember Margaret Chin a ring. Rather, you need to be more strategic about who to contact at the office to have your voice heard. We are currently taking a look at the personal website of Councilmember Margaret Chin under the Contact and Staff tab. Each City Council member will have at least a Chief of Staff and a Scheduler or Office Manager. If you can't find this information on your council member's website, you can easily find out the information by calling the district or legislative office of your representative. These key staff members are really important people to know, as they have access to the council member's calendar, speaking events, and can help arrange a meeting with your community group and your representative.
I want to take a minute to talk about two other items related to your city council member. First is a process called participatory budgeting. Participatory budgeting is a democratic process in which community members directly decide how to spend part of the public budget. This process gives real access to New Yorkers to the political process. City council members choose to join participatory budgeting in New York, giving at least $1 million from their discretionary budget for the community decision-making process. 51 city council members are a part of this program. This being an election year, it's a great time to talk to your council member or candidates about why you either support and appreciate their participating in PB, or for the 20 districts that don't currently participate, why you think they should. Participatory budgeting allows New Yorkers to decide where to spend our capital dollars on brick and mortar projects. So if you have some improvements for your local park or playground or school in mind, use your leverage in this election cycle to advocate for PB. Second is city council hearings. These hearings are a great opportunity to submit and read public testimony to your elected officials concerning the specific topic of the hearing. New Yorkers for Parks has a webinar entitled Going on the Record that gives you the inside scoop about how to successfully testify at a city council hearing, including everything from how to check in at the building, from what to include in your testimony to most effectively get your point across. Be sure to check it out along with our other webinars on our website, www.ny4p.org.
So 2017 is a citywide election year. This means the mayor, public advocate, comptroller, borough presidents, and city council members are up for election. The dates provided here are specific to the city council. The primary will be held on September 12th and the general election on November 7th. Quick trivia question. Of the 51 council districts, how many are up for election this year? The correct answer is all of them. That's why election years are such an exciting time for park advocates. We can use this opportunity to support candidates who support open space.
Currently, there are over 220 candidates running for public office in New York City this fall for all possible offices. There are many different ways to keep track of the candidates. The New York City Campaign Finance Board website is a great official place to start. There is a lot of information on this website about the rules of voting, voter services, and services for candidates. In order to access the candidate list from the homepage, you need to click on the tab entitled Follow the Money. Then you'll want to click on Campaign Finance Reports, where you'll then find a tab entitled Candidate List. If you visit this link, this is what the list will look like, and it will be regularly updated with all candidates running for office, so be sure to check in frequently.
The Campaign Finance Board lists the candidate name, the classification of the candidate, and the office they are seeking. Candidates are classified as participants if they have officially joined the campaign. Candidates who have joined this program have agreed to participate in the city's matching funds for their campaigns. In addition to the Campaign Finance Board website, there are many news outlets across the city that are keeping a close tab on all of the races. City Limits, City and State, DNA Info, and Gotham Gazette are just a few examples, but most local papers will also be great resources.
One of the trickier facets of a city council election is determining if your particular district seat is open, and therefore will definitely be filled by a new candidate, or if it's held by an incumbent who is seeking re-election against new candidates. Your district seat is open if the current council member has reached the limit of their terms. Remember, in the New York City Council, the council member can serve 2 consecutive 4-year terms. It is important to note that some council members who are currently serving in office were eligible to serve for 3 terms under a rule change that took place in 2008, but those rules are no longer in place and we are back to a 2-term system. In 2017, of the 51 districts, 7 of them are currently going to open seats. These 7 members are term limited and a brand new batch of candidates are running for the seats that are open. The remaining 44 members, if they want to keep their seat, are running for re-election as an incumbent against a batch of new candidates. Why is this important? Although this is not always the case, usually the candidates are all new, seeking support, and they want to hear from their potential constituents. This is where you come in. We want to stress, though, that every single incumbent member needs to be re-elected to hold their seat. In fact, there are already some hotly contested seats and lots of exciting news stories to follow. If you care about parks and open space, all 51 elections are important.
Here at New Yorkers for Parks, we want all of our constituents to vote, and vote often. Please make sure you are registered to vote. Check out the Campaign Finance Board website, and in particular, the NYC Votes site to get more information. In the fall, NYC Votes will publish an NYC Voter Guide that offers an incredible amount of information about all of the candidates. Read up. Make sure you know where your polling site is and what to expect when you arrive. If you need assistance, reach out to NYC Votes. Last but not least, get involved. New Yorkers can register to work as poll workers, volunteer at poll sites, get involved in the campaigns, and volunteer for a candidate you support. An election year is a great time to participate in democracy.
We have a few final notes about elected officials and districts here in New York City. As we city council members and appointed community board members. However, the area that these two bodies represent are not identical. In other words, your city council district is different from your community board district. We admit that these distinctions can be confusing. At New Yorkers for Parks, we typically research and advocate on behalf of New Yorkers according to their city council districts. For example, our city council view, look at the open space allocation and demographics of each 51 city council districts. Why did we choose the city council districts? For one very specific reason. Your city council district. Each council member, as we've already mentioned, has what's called discretionary funding budget and legislates on issues concerning land use and rezoning in your community. In our fast developing, growing city, your park and open space priorities are intrinsically tied to the funds and priorities of your city council member. Just one more reason to get out and vote this fall.
New Yorkers for Parks is an independent advocacy organization, which means we can advocate for parks and open space in our elections, but we need your help. This year, we will be meeting with candidates, holding events, and vote. We believe parks and open space are so important that this year we have drafted a Public Realm Bill of Rights. We will demand that all candidates for City Council promise to defend the public realm rights of their constituents in terms of access, infrastructure, health, environment, and funding. Please watch our Public Realm Bill of Rights webinar to learn more about this document and make sure to take our survey and submit policy recommendations for our candidates.
We want to thank you for taking the time to join us for today's webinar, and we hope you learned a little bit about who represents you here in New York City. Above, you can see our contact information as well as our website, and we encourage you to reach out if you have any questions about how to navigate the process of engaging either candidates for office or your current elected officials. Stay tuned for more webinars about different aspects of the city process and how it relates to open space advocacy, and we hope you have a great day. Thanks. Bye.